Hey guys, my name's Lefty and today's video is called What to Do When You Find Somebody Stuck in a Hole. Now imagine one day you're walking through a field and you come across a hole and you find somebody at the bottom of it. And they're yelling out, help me, help me. What do? Well, if you've got a rope, you're either going to chuck it down and pull them out, or maybe you're going to jump in the hole and help them climb out. And then once they get out, they'll be like, thank you. Thank you so much for helping me. You're amazing. Now imagine the next day you come walking along and that same person is back down in the hole again. And they're going, help me, help me. And you're like, how did you get back in that hole? And they're like, I have no idea. I just woke up and I was back in this hole again. And then you go, okay, I'll help you out. And they go, thank you so much. You pull them out, they give you a hug and they're so happy. They're feeling amazing. Next day comes along, you're walking along, guess who's back down in the hole? And you're like, how do you keep getting back in this hole? And they're like, I have no idea, but can you just help me one more time, please? And then you help them out. Next day you come along, they're not in the hole. They're standing up in the grass and they're like, hey, it's you. I was waiting for you to come along. And you're like, oh, good to see you're not down in that hole. And then they go, yeah, no, it is really cool, you know. So how's your life going? And you just start having a conversation and then you leave and they're like, oh, well, see you later. Then you come along the next day and they see you coming. You can see them on the horizon. And as you're coming, they jump down in the hole. And you come along and you, hey, I just saw you jump down in the hole. And they're like, please pull me out of here. Please, just help me out. And then you realize they're putting themselves in the hole and all they want is for somebody to come and save them. Now imagine you're walking along one day and you find somebody down in a hole. And you go, hey, I see you're in a hole. And they go, yeah, it's really hard down here. Could you help me out? And you're like, well, I don't think I'm strong enough to pull you out of there, but I see a bit of a handhold. I think you could lift yourself up a bit right there. And they go, oh wow, yeah, no, there is a handhold. Thanks for that. So they lift themselves up a bit. The next day you come along, they've come a bit further and you're like, oh, I see you're still down in that hole. And they're like, yeah, it sucks, but you know, I'm working my way up. And you're like, good. You sit there and have a yarn with them. And then you go, well, I guess I'll see you tomorrow. You come along and they're a little bit higher and you're like, hey, so you're still down in that hole? And they're like, yeah, it's hard, but I'm crawling my way out of here. And you go, well, that's awesome. Oh, before I go, what's the best part of your day? And they go, well, I hadn't really thought about that, but I guess around lunchtime when the sun is right there and it shines down on these stones and they sort of glow, it's really beautiful. I like that. And then you go, yeah, that does sound really cool. And then you leave them to be. You come back the next day, they're a little bit higher and they're like, hey man, I'm quite stuck. Are you sure you can't help me out? And you're like, I can't reach you, mate. I can't reach you. But you know, when the sun comes, you were saying, and it lights up those stones, maybe when that light comes, you'll be able to see another handhold to pull yourself up on. That's a good idea. The next day you come along, they're even higher. They're right there and they're like, can you just pull me out, please? I'm right here. And you go, hey, you got yourself this far. I'm sure you can come all the way. And then the next day you come along and they're out and they're looking at the sky and they're so appreciative of everything they see. They give you a hug and they go, you know, I'm really proud of myself. I'm really stoked. I got myself out of that hole, and if I ever fall down a hole again, I know the process to get out of here. Now last one, imagine you come walking along and there's somebody in the bottom of a hole and you look down and they're like, hey, help me out of here. And you're like, I don't think I'm strong enough to pull you out of there. There's a handhold there though. Why don't you reach up and grab it? No, it's too far to reach. No, it's not that far. It's right there. I'm sure if you pulled it up. No. It's too far for me. Can't you just get me out of here? Well, I'd love to, but I can't help you unless you sort of start helping yourself. And they're just like, stuff you, man. Just help me out of here. You go away, the next day you come back, they're still in the bottom of the hole, and they're like, oh, it's you again. You gonna help me today? Listen, I told you, there's a handhold right there. If you just grab it, I'm sure you can pull yourself up. They're like, I told you, I can't reach that handhold. Well, are you gonna try? No, I'm not gonna try. I can see it from here. I can't reach that. So as time goes on and you keep trying to tell this person how to pull themselves out of the hole and they won't listen, you eventually just start avoiding the hole. And then one day, many days later, you see the person. They're out of the hole and they're like, hey, you stopped coming to see me. You knew I was in that hole and you refused to help me at all. And I've been pissed off at you the whole time. And I told myself, I'm going to climb out of this hole just to tell that son of a bitch where to go. And you go, oh, so you climbed out of the hole by yourself. Did you use that handhold I told you about? And they're like, shut up, I hate you. Hey, I'm sorry I couldn't help you out, but I'm really happy for you that you got yourself out of that hole. You see, helping people can be a bit of a weird trip. Sometimes you help people out and they're like, you're amazing. And then you help them again and they're like, oh my God, you're so cool. And what you're doing is you're creating this relationship where they're reliant on you, never on themselves. And they're just constantly waiting for you. And it gets to a point where they start throwing themselves into danger just so that you'll come and save them. So you've got to figure out another way. And then you find other people who need help and you just be there for them, you know? You just keep them company. You're not trying to save them, but you just sit there and listen to them and let them talk it out with you. And then when they ask for some help, you just go, have you ever thought of trying this? And you just leave it at that. Let them choose their way to do it. And then when they finally get out of their situation and they're good, and they might even say thank you, you can go, hey, I didn't do anything. You got yourself out of that, and I'm so proud of you. And then you have people who are just constantly going through dramas in their life. We all know people like that. Like they're just boom, 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 always in some kind of different strife. And from my experience, from trying to help these people, they don't really want to be helped. They're choosing to be down there. They're in the mindset of, I'm in the bottom of this hole, and they don't feel comfortable anywhere else. I found that the best way to help those kind of people is to leave them to themselves. I think I was one of those people. I had to hit rock bottom before I was forced to claw my way out. And as sad as it is, enabling those people doesn't help them, and it doesn't help you. For the sake of both of you, go on your separate journeys and you just hope that they figure it out. I know that's a really hard thing to hear and it's a hard thing to say, but we've all got to get ourselves out of our hole so that when we go down another one, we know how to get out of it. And maybe next time we won't fall so far in. But if you really want to help people, you've got to help them to help themselves. And sometimes that means just being there for them and giving them love and support. And sometimes that means letting them take that journey by themselves and wishing them all the best. Thanks for watching.